you very much. Welcome to Cape Town. We are at the DA office. They were having a media briefing outlining their plan to deal with energy crisis. As we were in the briefing, we all received a notification from Eskom indicating that load shedding might be implemented this afternoon. I am joined by DA spokesperson on minerals and energy, DA MP Kevin Mileham. Mr. Mileham, first let's talk about the news that Eskom might implement load shedding this afternoon.
It's hardly surprising given the state of Eskom. You know, Eskom are running their generation plant very, very hard, and they need to have a little bit of excess capacity so that they can switch off some of their units and take the time and space needed to fix that generation capacity. To do that, we need to bring new generation capacity online as quickly as possible. But Eskom doesn't have the resources to do that, so it's going to have to be outside Eskom. So in that regard, we're very pleased by the President's announcement that he will be doubling the procurement of renewable energy through the Renewable Energy Independent Power Producers Procurement Program, bid window 5 and 6. But we want to see that happen with speed.
Let's talk about the DA's plans to end energy crisis in this country. What does it entail?
Well, first of all, our plans are very much consumer focused. They are designed to ease the cost of living for consumers. They're designed to make it easier for consumers who want to generate their own electricity to do so. And they are not about state control or centralization as the ANC's policies and plans are. So that's the starting point. But it's about reducing reliance on Eskom. It's about allowing independent power producers into the market. It's about becoming more competitive. It's about allowing what we call prosumers, in other words, consumers who produce their own electricity, to sell that back into the grid. It's about ending load shedding, and it's about cheaper electricity and cheaper fuels. And then critically, it's about a sustainable energy future for future generations.
Talking about sustainable energy and moving now into cleaner and renewable energy, what's the DA's policy saying about that?
Well, we very much are in favor of renewable energies, and long term we believe that should be South Africa's primary source of electricity. What we need to do to facilitate that is we need to build energy storage capacity. We need to open up our grid and make it easier for independent power producers to enter the electricity generation sector. And we also need to ensure that there is a just transition for people who are involved in the coal sector, the coal mining sector, and the services that supply the coal mining sector, as well as the coal power plants, that there is an opportunity to upskill those workers, to reskill them, to ensure that those communities don't die out, and that there is an economy for them to continue living in and working in.
The DA wants the Eskom monopoly to end, but some would argue that when you're talking about ending the monopoly of Eskom, bringing other players and privatizing Eskom, that would mean job losses. What's your position on that?
Well, for starters, we're not talking about privatizing Eskom per se. We're saying sell off some of the assets, unbundle Eskom so that the state's control is very much around the grid infrastructure. In other words, the transmission of electricity. The distribution infrastructure should be handled by municipalities and regional electricity distributors. But the generation, for the short term and medium term, Eskom is still going to be a player. At least for the next 10 to 15 years, Eskom is still going to be a player in the generation sector. But longer term, we will see more and more independent power producers contributing to that area. And as those independent power producers come into the energy market and the generation market, they will create jobs. They will have people that they will need to employ to run their facilities. So I don't think we must look at it as a net job loss. We must look at it as a transition from an old technology to a new one.